I'm going to throw a question back to you, Ethan, and ask, why does everyone put it either super or either a property?
That's a good question. And you're right that the question is probably wrong. The framing is wrong. The answer really depends on your own context, right? And superannuation is a structure, property is an asset. So you're right, they're not really comparable. Because if you put money into superannuation, let's say for example, you have $10,000 and scenario one, you put that into superannuation as a tax deductible contribution. Or scenario two, you use that $10,000 every year that you're saving to own and run an investment property that's negatively geared. You know, the super money's probably going into shares. The property is obviously, the money that you're putting towards holding the investment property is essentially connected to the property. But in that scenario, the property is negatively geared, so there's that leverage piece. Now, when you look at that sort of high level scenario, if we actually go through the numbers, let's say you're earning $230,000 a year, you put that $10,000 contribution into super, assuming you're able to, the net benefit to you as a group is probably 32%, so $3,200. If, for example, you put that high income owner put that $10,000 towards running an investment property, let's assume that's their after-tax contribution after like depreciation and tax deductions. That might be $1 million property that they're exposed to. Now, if the property goes up by 10%, they've made $100,000 on the property. If that share portfolio that's inside super, the $13,000 share portfolio after that contribution goes up by 10%, well, they've made, what's that, $1,300. So they're just not comparable. Let's say someone's 64, they're about to retire in a year. Should they go buy a negatively geared property? Probably not, right? Leverage at that time of life isn't necessarily the right strategy. Now, it can be in some situations. It's not always wrong, but in that situation, sort of access to more liquid investments like a share portfolio might be more suitable.
How do you tie all these assets together and I guess find a balance that's going to be right for your strategy?
The whole purpose of this, like we were talking about in a previous episode, is actually finding out what your target is. Where are you trying to be in 5, 10 or 15 years? And then we can work backwards from there. So the focus should be more on where do you want to be and what assets are just going to get you there.